Hello.
Hello, Sean.
Hi, Dave. You okay? I was just going to do a professional intro then, and you were. We. It's fine. It's fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We're streaming on like a Friday. Which is
Yeah,
not a thing we normally do.
No, it's not. But it's a special Friday.
The special Friday. It's Steam Festival Friday. So, yeah, we're showing off our game, Making It Home. It's coming to early access in August. Sometime, hopefully. Like I'm
Sometime,
sure
it will. Yeah, it will.
And you can download a demo right now, and the demo is going to be up until the 22nd of June. So you can try it out. But hang around with us for a bit, and we're gonna play the game and talk and ask questions. And well, you're gonna ask questions. We're gonna answer questions, aren't we? So
yes,
let's go.
I mean, I might just fire some questions at you anyway, because
because that's what.
That's the kind of thing we do, isn't it?
Can you hear
me? Putting you on the spot.
Do you know where you are? Do you know what's happened? I'm being asked questions already.
I know, like I said, these aren't even coming from me.
Yeah, it's her birthday soon. Whose birthday? Whose birthday is it soon? I was going to order the cake. I had the decorations, the balloons, the presents. I was getting the cake when? ... Stay with me now. You have to make it home for her birthday. You get it? You have to be home for your daughter's birthday. Don't do this to us. I hope you appreciate the voice acting.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff, man.
So here we are in Los Angeles. So Making It Home is a vehicle building game where you are making your way across America to get home in time for your daughter's birthday. So the game is split up by truck stops, and at the truck stops you get to talk to characters. So we're going to talk to Rusty. You hear me, kid? Rusty's a smoking crab, by the way, and by that I don't mean he's like hot. I mean he's actually smokes. You hearing me, kid? I'm not ready. Also, you're a ladybug. There is no ready. It's now or never if you're going to get back in time. I'll go with never. Snap out of it. You've got to get back on your feet. Now, this isn't going to be easy, but what is in life, right? That's the truth. You've got some learning to do. No one's going to blame you for that. Baby steps, remember? Sure, Rusty. Don't know if that was what you were... Yeah. Was that what that line was meant to be?
Yeah, definitely.
Bryony, she needs you back. Christ, I don't need to tell you your daughter needs you. Every day she asks about you. I'll be in Santa Ana trying to straighten this mess out. I can't wait too long. Get there soon and maybe I can help. I'm just going to turn your audio down a little bit because I was playing with it the other day when we were on like podcasts and stuff.
Okay. I have a tendency to be a bit loud.
Yeah, that's fine. You were less excited when we were just talking earlier. Okay, so there we go. We have story, and now we get to pick a blueprint. At the moment, you only get one choice, which is a sale. And then this is our map screen, and again, we've only got one choice at the moment. We're going to Santa Ana. Rusty told us he was going to be there, but we got to move on. We got to get there on time. Do you
think you're going to get there on time, Sean?
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there way before time. So we're building a vehicle, and like a lot of these games, like I love these kind of building games. I was like, we're making one. Of course, I like them. But I think one of the big things about these games is about how easy it is to build your thing. And so we spent a long time kind of working on this blueprint mode, right?
Yeah.
And so. This is my vehicle, so I'll go from the start. So at the moment you start with just this workshop, which is how you build things. And these are all the panels I've got unlocked down here. When I select one, I can see a little GIF. This was actually an idea from one of our beta testers, was to have a little animation showing you how it works. At the moment, the only thing I can build that gives me thrust, that gets me moving, is a sail. So I'm going to build as many sails as I can afford. Is 5. And I got my sails, and now I got to raise my sails to get going. I'm playing on controller, and it's like a mix, really. There's like the blueprint mode. I was using a keyboard and mouse, but then I like to play with a controller. And now we're getting home. We're on our way. And the sails like work like sails. And the reason we start you out with sails is because like some of the stuff you unlock gets a bit weird, and like most people understand how sails work. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that they're a fairly easy thing to conceptualize, aren't they? Like sails, they tend to be used for propulsion rather than anything else. Although I suppose there probably are a few different uses for sails, like like a windsock or something like that shows you the direction. Something like that. But people generally get the sense of, oh, my sail needs to be down for the wind to catch it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
One of the things I've gone.
Go on. I was going to make a joke, so you go and use it.
You can actually. Fair enough. One thing that I found kind of interesting, and I imagine if people watch other people play the game, either on Let's Plays or whatever, is that people will often try and work on the sails a little bit longer than they need to. So I wonder if I can't remember what the tutorialization exactly says, the exact language. I think it is basically we need to say something like tap the action button.
Oh, as in they hold the action button down.
Yeah,
I see what you mean by work on the right.
Yeah, they hold the action button down, and it's an easy mistake, and it's not a problem eventually. But the game doesn't give you any at the moment doesn't give you any feedback on whether or not you need to hold it down longer. It just it just says you just hold the action button down, and when you let go, it's gonna
So I've got to the end now. So I'm in Santa Ana, and I get told, like, again, this is something we added during the beta. It was like, we didn't used to have this. So we got a lot of feedback that people really wanted kind of an objective, leg to leg. So that there was a clear objective of like, I want to get, which getting home for a birthday, but then the kind of moment to moment between these truck stops. People want to have a sense of how well they were doing. So that's why the star system's in here. So I'm on time. Told you.
Yeah, you win.
And Rusty's here because I'm on time. 13 minutes ahead of schedule. That's pretty good. Let's talk to Rusty. Whoa there, steady now, you made it. That's a good start, but take a breather, will you? You're sounding all wheezy. It was tight, I only just made it. Huh? It knows.
Yeah, only just made
text. No, the dialogue system knows what's
13 minutes made it.
Yeah, I can see that. Those are some nice dishcloths you've got strung up there. Are you sure 6 are going to be enough? Again, we're hinting at you that there are links between the gameplay and the dialogue. Enough of the wisdom. What's next, Rusty? That's on you, kid. I'm here to help, but it's your journey back to us. You get to decide where we go next. And there we go. And now I've got some choice. So I get to pick a new blueprint. And this is kind of what I mean by things getting a bit weird. So sails... we all understand sails, but then like we got like bellows and trampolines, and electric engine. So what should I go for, Dave?
I think it's a lot of power making this choice. I mean, I would maybe say bellows because it gives you something exciting to speed up, but also I'm a sucker for a trampoline.
Okay, but at the moment I don't have any panels that I really want to use for the trampoline.
Yeah, that's fair.
So then, like, we got to make money, right? Everyone needs to work, and so
not everyone has coins floating in the sky.
Yeah, I've got 13 minutes to spare, so I can't work too long at the diner, but maybe I'll work an hour. So I'm going to work an hour at the diner.
That's probably fair.
I got a tip. So now I get a choice: Barstow, Palm Springs, or Indigo. So
Indio.
Oh, is that what you...
It's easy to say Indigo.
Yeah, I always say Indigo. I've been saying Indigo. So I'm going to go to Palm Springs. Okay, so I've got now a budget of 136. I've got some more money. So I can build some more stuff.
So that budget Sean, that carries on from leg to leg, doesn't it? So it's not like it's kind of a cumulative running total.
Mm-hmm.
The spending money is definitely not a problem in this game.
No, it kind of like when we started, you had to think a lot about kind of managing your budget, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I do the accounts, so I understand that managing budgets is not fun. So, oh no, I fell off, and so when you fall off, you lose 5 coins, 5 gold, $5. We actually use currency.
We do.
And if you're quick enough, you can grab it again. But if you don't have $5, you can't lose $5.
Yeah, we had a fantastic meme from Dave Soft just on that, one of our Discord users, who riffed on a classic meme pointing that exact workaround.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sean, you've kind of been doing this like without necessarily explaining what it is you're doing, I think, which is building out, while you're actually on the road, right? Like
I just built something. So that's the other thing is the workshop. You don't have to just build in the
blueprint mode.
In the blueprint mode, you can actually you can build here, and you can replace panels and all sorts. So. And I didn't really explain what these bellows do. So these bellows are things you jump into, and they give you a bit of a push. So you're jumping in, air's going out, and you get a little bit of push. You can see there's some wind coming there.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you a bigger boost than the sails, but like it's like it's like having a sniper rifle that's like a really high power sniper rifle that's a really low. What am I saying? Like low fire rate,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what the best way of explaining that is.
I suppose it's about. I guess it's what you're talking about is the management system of the panels, isn't it? Like sails don't take very much management; they just need one click of your action button, and then they're constantly giving you low-level thrust. Whereas bellows need your attention for only one point in their cycle, and then they give you a big boost of thrust, and and different panels are very different on that. So you've lost 3 minutes by the looks of it.
Hey, well, I'm still 10 minutes ahead of schedule.
You are, but you were 13.
Yeah, but I also worked an hour in the diner, so like
we're
doing all right.
We're doing all right.
We're doing all right. No, is this rabbit here? Like, so you're here. Good to see you too, sis. My sister's a rabbit. Don't call me that. You know it. I hate it when you call me that. You're right, I do know. Rusty warned me you'd be like this.
Yeah, sassy.
He likes his warnings. Do you know the weird thing? So just for those who don't know, Dave is a writer, and the writer, and +2. And I'm still finding lines I haven't seen before. I've been playing this game quite a lot.
Yeah,
I've not seen that line before. But I guess he just wants to help.
Does, like any good smoking crab would.
You don't look like you need much help. Are you serious? You can't be in that much pain. Not really. Thanks for stopping by, sis. I've been through worse. It didn't take me long to get back on my feet, get back to life. Sure. I was there, remember? You were? Come by and be awful anytime, sis. You always know how to make me feel good about myself. Hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I hope that sarcasm comes across. It's always a little bit of a difficult thing to be sure about.
But then that's so what's I suppose what's nice about that is that the person, by leaving that a bit ambiguous, you know what
ambiguous?
I mean? Ambiguous. Then the player gets to kind of like, it gives the player some agency in how they feel about that.
Sure.
Just don't take too long here. You've got a family, people depending on you, not just for Bryony's birthday. Okay, so now I've got some more stuff.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. I'm going to get a turbine.
Gotta love turbines.
Turbines spin this around to generate electricity. I saw a video of a tornado going into a turbine the other day.
What?
I know. It was less impressive than you thought. The turbine was just like, whatever, I'll just generate more power. So, there's a tornado in Wales the other day. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So those turbines are built with those kind of stresses in mind.
Yeah, turns out.
Do you think your turbines are going to be built with those kind of stresses in mind?
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So turbines generate electricity. So far we've been using wind really. We've been using wind and arm movement.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now we have something that generates electricity, and we also have an electric engine which uses electricity. So I'm going to build a couple of electric engines. The turbine's here. I'm going to build another one of these.
So, fun development fact: originally, I had the text for turbines was "You spin me right round, baby, right round," and it was decided into development that, as fantastic a flavor text as that was, we actually needed to tell players what these turbines actually did.
Yeah.
I'm hoping in maybe as we get further and closer to release that we'll be able to find room for both useful text and
I think it's a case of deciding when you get that kind of comedy text, because there are definitely places where that works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could put it in the selection where you select it, because
Possibly,
in the blueprint mode it tells you how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Oh no.
I think you would definitely need both at the point of choosing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want players to base their choice on my bad jokes.
Mm-hmm. So something the eagle-eyed people among you might have noticed is when I hit that bellows, the turbines started turning.
Oh, you built this vehicle real poor.
But no, I haven't. Oh, yeah, okay. Probably I have. I always do this.
You certainly didn't make it easier for yourself. But you are showing off our pro skills wall jumping with the Ladybird. But yeah, don't do this at home, kids, until you've at least played a fair bit of making it.
This is like pro strats.
If you've botched your... So what's happening here is your sister Ellen has decided that you're going too slowly and that you need some proper motivation to get home in time for the birthday party. So she's going to provide that motivation by making things harder for you. Classic sister move. And she's throwing carrots at your vehicle that slow you down. It's an important thing because they wedge into the vehicle and they add... would you say they add drag or weight to the vehicle?
They add drag.
There we go. So,
did make them add weight at one point, but it didn't really do much. Like the drag, you notice a bit more. Okay, and so then that's like you get like a bonus objective, which is to eat the carrots. So I ate 93% of the carrots, despite Dave's criticism of my vehicle. Like I did really well there. Thank you very much. Rusty's back. 45 minutes ahead of schedule. I'm making up time.
Boom.
Let's talk to Rusty. Hey there, kid. Hey there, yourself. I wasn't sure if I should come. I'm glad you did.
Me.
You say that now. One thing you should understand about Ellen right now is her son was expelled this week.
What?
Don't be ridiculous. They don't expel 9-year-olds. He started a fire out in the playground. It was quite the thing, scientific. He didn't just strike a match.
Ooh.
The school almost sounded impressed. Almost. He always was an overachiever. Yeah, so go easy on Ellen, okay?
Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah. I've got an hour. I've got like let's do 2 hours. I'm like,
Ooh.
I'm booking it.
Don't get cocky, kid.
been watching the Star Wars prequels. I watched Mandalorian, and then like I went back to saying, right, I want to watch all the Star Wars films.
Okay.
And they're bad. Like, they're good, but they're bad. Like, it's the writing is the problem. The story is really, really good. The story, like, I'm really interested in the story.
Okay. In trade negotiations.
I'm up for trade. You know, I'm not above that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna. How many can I?
Wow, that's a lot of engines.
Yeah, but I think.
Don't forget. I don't know why I'm trying to give you tips. Ignore me. No,
okay.
You know how to play this game.
Yeah. Also, I can like so something else I've been doing here quite quickly without really explaining it. I can change the wall layout.
Yes.
So you quickly come to the point where you're. Oh, hang on.
Which is interestingly, I wanted to say something about this very briefly. Is something you can't do on the road.
No.
So it's like if you're gonna mess around with floors, you have to do it in the blueprint mode.
Yeah. I just don't think we could do that. Like I don't know how you do the. I mean, obviously everything's possible, but I don't know how you do the AI, the UI for that.
Yeah, it's quite. I think it's a useful differentiating factor between the two modes, and also it means that you're not getting too bogged down in building when you're in the
yeah, which is kind of why we put the blueprint mode in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
shoot,
blast. And well, so I deliberately made a mistake here so that I can show that you can very simply push escape and go back to the blueprint mode, and we don't punish you.
Do you want to explain to people what that mistake was?
I didn't put a wall here, so I couldn't jump up.
Yeah, there we go.
But like, that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna, you know what? I quite like wall jumping. Like, I'm just gonna. It's probably like. Yeah, I'm gonna go like that. Oh, that was a stupid thing to do as well. Because now I've got to go all the way up here.
Or you could have gone around, but again, some tight wall jumping there's nice.
And that right? Okay, can I get through?
Wow, go. That's some speed right there.
Yeah.
So another thing that is perhaps worth pointing out to folks.
Oh God! I was pretty tall there. Like,
yeah, I think you got a little bit taller than you necessarily needed to be. Nice. Can you make it back? No. Oh gosh. So, yeah, this is the danger of going that quickly on this particular objective. Is that that you hit the bridges pretty quickly, and the bridges, for those of you who haven't seen this before, they are.
So I can just my vehicle's gone now. Like I've lost it. Come on, catch up. No, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh well, there we go. That was a whole thing.
Yeah, that objective really changes when you go at quite a lot of speed.
I've never been that fast in this objective.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to tell people at home why you went that quickly?
Why I went that quick?
What made you reach that speed?
I don't know. You said you know then.
I do.
Oh, because I was so high. I jumped so high onto those bellows.
So the bellows, it's something we don't tell the player, but we kind of hint at quite heavily, is that the bellows. So you said, like, here it says jump at this for a big increase in vehicle thrust, right? So, and the floor ones that you're using, say, fall onto this.
Yeah.
But the bellows track the velocity at which you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fall on them from a great height, they give you bigger thrust than if you just jump, like, from standing when you're next to them. So, and there's a lot, like, the ceiling bellows especially, but the others too, but the ceiling bellows there are a lot of panels that shoot you higher up into the air, like the trampoline or the catapult that you can make use of. Yes. So you chose the cannon, actually.
Yeah, I did, and so like because I thought I've got what the sideways bellows, right? So so I can maybe try and do something like. Right, so let's have a think.
And we're having a lot of fun talking, like laughing at your vehicle design. But it's definitely been something that people have, I think, had to get into a habit of. Is maybe the last thing you do when you're building your vehicle is you just pop into panel mode and check that your floors and your walls are all where you actually want them to be.
Yeah. Trying to think how much have I got enough. I was thinking of maybe trying a completely bellows
strat.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this is a carrot run. So I need to be careful about where the carrot's going to go.
So that's something we give players all the time in the objective mode. In the blueprint mode, it will tell you the objective in the top right-hand corner of the leg you're about to go on, which is always there, but it's also something that's quite easy to miss.
Yeah, we need to. We've talked about changing that a bit, haven't we?
Yes and no. Like, well, sorry, we've definitely talked about it, but whether or not we're going to, I think, is a super interesting question.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Aren't we?
Because it's there. It's like, and how what it will look like when we do make that change.
Yeah.
Because like at the moment you could say it's there. Once you realize it's there, for the first time you probably don't need to be reminded it's there, and so on and so forth. So like I think popping up with by the way, this is what your objective is for this run, every run might start to get annoying for some players. So, and there's always that option of like maybe we just need to like some games give the player an option on the level of hints they get.
That
could be so this is quite an interesting vehicle you're building here, Sean. Making strong use of those empty panel frames.
That's what I've not really. So I'm hoping okay. Oh no, I missed! Oh no, I screwed up. Okay, back to blueprint mode. Right, so at that I'll fall. Right, okay, I forgot to do that one. But also, what I'm noticing is when I come out of here, I'm going to hit. I need to remember to wall jump back. That might be quite tricky, but we'll try. We'll see how this goes. Right. What I quite enjoy is like I'm still finding new ways of making vehicles that I haven't thought.
Sure.
You finding that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm super interested in what's going to happen when you hit this second floor cannon.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Whoa, that's a carrot. It's a carrot attack. Yes, definitely. And I think the thing for us is as well, like I realized that how much of our testing's been done on quite a low budget. And once you start getting into those really high budget levels, that's when you can really...
As in our testing when we're playing the game, not like...
Yes.
That other thing is also true, but like... yeah. Like, as in we've not really... Because I've only just implemented like Act 2. So do you want to maybe talk about the kind of progression of the game a bit?
Sure. So we've seen Sean pick a few truck stops on a kind of a route map across the states. But as people have pointed out, that map actually covers the entirety of the United States from east to west, north to south. Whereas the truck stops represented only cover from LA to Las Vegas. So that's obviously not the entirety of the east to west coast. And also our short description for the game is, you're a ladybug trying to get from one side of America to the other. So Act 1 of the story of the kind of the game's progression is LA to Vegas, and then Act 2 is Vegas to Columbus, Ohio. So you cover quite a lot of ground there, and then Act 3 takes you from Ohio all the way to the East Coast, back home, which is where our character, our Ladybug.
For some reason, it only just occurred to me that we have, therefore we know where our hero lives.
By the end of the game, we do, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that's what we're working on at the moment. When Sean says, we've only just put in Act 2, in a sense that we've only just put together the map, which will look different from the Act 1 map in terms of what kind of direction you can take through the truck stops and so on and so forth.
Christ, you look awful. You do know you're supposed to be getting better, right? Bryony's really worried. She likes being called Sis, right? Hello to you, Sis. I told you before. You sure have makes the nurse laugh every time. Or tell me what, Sis. Tell me what, Sis. That you need to sort yourself out. You think this is a joke? Nurse says the only joke is standing in the doorway. Yeah, well, what does she know? Working in this second-rate dump. She knows her job, that's what. She probably trained somewhere foreign. She has that look about her.
That's not cool, Ellen.
Oh, shit.
That's not cool.
Just get out. Okay, just go. What? I'm done talking to you like this. If that's what you really think, then fine. But you should know one thing before I go. Don't tell me, I don't care. If you were half the woman I am, half the mother I am, you would have beaten this thing by now. Okay, whew. Things got heated.
Yeah.
People are really taken aback by, and I guess I was the first time I saw those lines like that. I think you did a good job of making people hate Ellen.
Yeah. Which is a really fun thing for a writer to do. Like I think villains are actually really, really difficult to do in fiction generally. I think it's a real challenge. It's something that especially a lot of aspiring writers kind of struggle with to begin with, because they're probably quite nice people, and actually you need to get into the mindset of someone who's not very nice.
Yeah.
And that can, once you're kind of used to that and you grapple with it, it can be a lot of fun. I think Ellen, as our antagonist, as our villain for Act 1, is she's really interesting. Obviously, we've on this playthrough we've had a bit of a tidbit that you don't always get, really, haven't you? About maybe why Ellen is kind of being the way she is towards her sister. Because she's like, she's dealing with her son being expelled at the moment.
Yeah, is it? I mean, like, let me say how, like.
So,
what do you want to reveal about what that tidbit and why?
Well, just that there. Well, just that there are those out there.
Yeah.
To find in the game, a lot of people, when we've seen them stream and stuff, and understandably they play through the game once. They do what you're doing now, which is kind of they do the voices and the acting, and they have a lot of fun with the dialogue, which is great. And then on the second or third playthrough, they see some similar stuff and therefore assume that the dialogue's the same.
Yeah.
But actually, it's on that second playthrough and the third playthrough and the fourth playthrough where you're actually doing a lot better in the game that you stand a good chance of seeing some new dialogue. There might come a point where we kind of telegraph that a little bit more to players.
Yeah, because like I think that is one thing of like trying to let people know, hey, no, you should keep playing because you should keep going through, read the dialogue, because people then skip the dialogue, right? And actually they might see new stuff. And how do we communicate that? Is I guess the question we're trying to ask. Right, I'm going for a bit of an interesting one here.
But like, just to quickly say about what you're, to talk briefly to what you've just said about, people do really dislike Ellen, and that's really gratifying to, as a writer, to have people like respond with the emotion that you were going for.
Yeah.
like this isn't a I didn't want people to like Ellen, and that's definitely been the result, and that's great.
Okay, so something I unlocked these balloons, and then the balloons, they reduce the weight and friction of the column that they're on, so the gravity, they like balloons pull up. Yep. So what I've done is I've put some balloons across the top, and I'm trying to go for one where what I found with the last vehicle I made, it was really big, and that caused lots of drag, and it slowed down. And then the problem with the bellows is that once they're fired, you're kind of done for a while until they so whereas now I'm hoping that the bellows move these turbines around, they'll keep spinning, keep these electric engines going. That's my plan. And it says objective: beat Ellen in a race.
Dun, dun, dun. It's on, Ellen.
So Ellen.
It's on.
You'll never be ready for a race like this. Not really, but wake me up when you want to do this. I was thinking, like in one of the songs, there is a gunshot.
Yes.
I wonder if we should ask Jordan if we could have that.
That's just pinch that. Yeah.
Whoop. There we go. Bye, Ellen. So yeah, you're racing a rabbit.
And this is something that, again, people playing the game have already clocked onto. That it's a rabbit. There's a race. She's sleeping at the start. Does this sound like some kind of childhood fable, or one of Aesop's fables? I'm pretty sure it's an Aesop's fable, isn't it? The rabbit and the tortoise.
Yeah.
The hare and the tortoise. Is it a hare?
Yeah, it's a hare, not a rabbit.
Yeah, it is a hare, isn't it? Yeah. So this is something that we've had a lot of fun with. You get these carrot barrages in this race. So from a design point of view, this kind of follows that kind of age-old tradition of game design of showing the player some of the things, some of the mechanical things that are going to come up in this kind of checkpoint, this boss encounter earlier in the game. So you can see that, I know, like, the player understands what a carrot is, they understand what it does, they understand it's bad. It's different behavior from the in-leg carrots because they come at you kind of right to left, and sorry. And these are coming in like barrages, and that does affect where they're going to stick in your vehicle more. It does affect where they're going to stick in your vehicle compared to in a regular leg with carrots. So, and we saw Ellen sleeping there. So again, and she's sleeping again. So doing that kind of hare and the tortoise, story justice. Yeah.
Jordan did a really good job with the music.
She sure did.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to work with Jordan. Jordan was on stream with us this week, so if you're interested in hearing all about Jordan's process and the music, you can check out the recordings in our Twitch and YouTube archives for that.
We should probably put that on the Steam. I forgot to put it on Steam. You should put the archives
up. The community. Yeah.
So I beat Ellen.
You did, yeah.
And I get to talk to me and you.
Yeah, like
13 minutes ahead of schedule.
What?
I know.
Oh, that's spooky. My mum would say that's spooky.
Oh, that was how far. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Like all.
Whoa.
That's. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, so in terms of progression, this is kind of Act 1. Now, what would happen? Oh, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll go through. Right, I'll go through now. So now you get to unlock a panel permanently. Because what the structure of the game is, you get to the end of which we kind of like have been talking about recently. Part of the fun of this game is designing new vehicles. So if you were to have the same vehicle and the same options all the time, you wouldn't see that fun. I think it's fair to say, right? We want to try and help you find, like, kind of push you into trying new things. It's kind of like. I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2 at the moment, and what they do is they'll do like weekly quests or like dailies where you have to do things using certain weapons, and you always end up having to use weapons you don't normally use. And actually, like, that's fun, because otherwise it's like you start thinking about it. It's like one of those things of like you're helping someone have fun. But So, like, anyway, so the structure goes is that the panels that we've unlocked so far, at the moment, if we're not going forward to the next act, we're going back to the start of this act, then we'll only have ones that we've permanently unlocked. So I'm going to pick balloons because they're pretty good.
That's good because Dave Soft in chat was shouting out for balloons.
Yeah.
So you and Dave on the same wavelength.
Yeah. And so I won't talk to Rusty, but then so now this is if you remember from before, we only had sails that we could pick from.
Yes.
Whereas now we actually have other panels.
Sail, bellows, and two different bellows. Okay.
Yeah. So like this is Act 1. What will happen then when all the other acts are in is that when you get to Las Vegas and based on how many stars you've got in Act or how many stars you've got, you will be able to get to Act 2.
Yeah.
And then,
so you're doing a pretty good run here looking at this, right? Because you've got 5 stars in all of that middle route to Vegas, but you haven't done the northern route or the southern route yet. No. So you have 0 stars in those routes.
Yeah.
So that would be if you're, if Sean was in a position where he didn't have the stars to unlock Act 2, he could choose one of the other routes, and maybe if he does well enough in them, generate enough stars to move into Act 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what we kind of want to do as well. Like there are different objectives and different things to find on these different routes. We want people to try these different areas. I don't like to use the word roguelike, but it's kind of edging towards that. It's not a rogue. I don't think it is that.
No.
I don't want if you don't like roguelike. I say that because if you don't like roguelikes, don't think this is not what this is.
No, because I mean, a lot of the time that roguelike repetition kind of relies on the fact that you die, right? Like there's a death in one form or another. But that's not that. I mean, that doesn't make a huge amount of sense for vehicle building games, is that really? No,
we want you to experiment like that. We want to give you reasons to experiment. So now you can see. Look, I'm doing the same. I'm going back, and now I've got these 2 panels. Very different to what I had last time.
Yeah, and you still only have $75 for your
still start with $75, and so then you have to. That's how you get to like. So when I was saying like, I'd never built vehicles like that before, it's because the way that the Rolex kind of came out, I've never had that combination of panels available. So, and that's what I'm really proud of that we've done is that even if you add like whenever we add a new panel, this idea of synergy where one panel works with lots of other panels. And how I think we've done a good job at that. So I don't often say that kind of about our work,
no,
but
normally he's like, we've done a terrible job here.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was going to so there we go. So I could go through that again, but that's not what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to show a different mode because we have more modes.
Yeah, that's not just all you get in making it home. That's true.
We have challenge modes.
And so initially, Sean, that challenge mode button is not selectable from the start of the game, is it? Because you have to unlock some of the stars. I believe it's 12 currently. Anyway, in the demo that's downloadable on Steam right now as part of the festival, you have to get 12 stars. So it's not too much to ask.
No. So and then when you get like I've unlocked like. Not to toot my own horn again, but I've been playing this game quite a lot, so I could get through there like pretty quickly, and so I unlocked way more stars than new players tend to unlock in their first go.
Sure.
So usually it takes you a while to unlock all these different types of modes.
And there's quite a lot of different modes there. Sean, do you want to talk very quickly about what they are?
Yeah. So basically we have so at the moment we've got these are leaderboards. These are daily, weekly, monthly leaderboards. That is what they are. Because for the beta we've added in this new panels like variant, which is a way that we allow people to test the new panels. I'm just going to launch it because obviously the music's quite loud in that.
Okay.
Yeah, my voice is going a bit, so you could.
All that excitement, yeah. Okay, so like the new panels certainly in the beta has been super helpful for us to let players immediately get to grips with the new panels rather than having to unlock them on their story playthroughs. So that's really good. I think, but the daily mix, the monthly mix, and the weekly mix will still be opportunities, especially like as we move from early access to full release. There'll be opportunities for people to play with panels and build vehicles of stuff potentially that they haven't unlocked yet. Maybe they haven't even seen yet in their playthroughs. So there's a lot of variety still available in the game.
Yeah, I think we're going to think quite carefully about how we unlock those, how we because part of the joy is the discovery of these new panels in the kind of single player,
in the story mode. Yeah.
So we don't want to take that away from people.
No.
So here I've got some. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, it's also fair to say that like the budgets in challenge mode are often quite big. So there's a danger, I suppose, if you haven't played a lot of the core game, that kind of drip feeds panels and money to you in a bit more of a manageable way. This could be like just overwhelming, right? It's
like the way we've always talked about it is like when you play an RTS game for the first time. Like my friend Mac, he always says he likes RTS games that have a single player that he can play through before he even touches like skirmish. So this is kind of like the skirmish mode, where you have like you've got a lot more unlocked. So do you want to talk about some of these panels that I'm using here?
Sure. Okay. So yeah, some of the new panels will only really be available in Act 2. Some you might get a bit of a sneak preview in Act 1 potentially when you're racing Ellen. Those include the steam engine, which Sean has a couple of built here. And the steam engine, as you might expect, uses water from these big water tanks. That's what those big blue panels are there. But as with everything in making it home, that's a finite resource. So I say as with everything. It's not entirely true. Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not true.
Yeah,
but it is a resource you have to manage.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually what's different about this panel, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, very true. So in that sense, Sean's just turned on his steam engine, so they're sucking water from those big water panels to kind of generate that thrust, which is the arrows you see from them. And they have two modes. They have on, off, three modes. They have on, off, and boost. So boost gives you that kind of bit of customizability to say, I want to use up more water for more thrust. So and Sean can do that in this challenge mode because it's not a huge leg, and he's got a lot of water.
And I've got these dehumidifiers.
The
most exciting of appliances.
I definitely made those big on purpose. Like that's an enormous dehumidifier. It's bigger than our electric engine almost. Because nothing's quite as sexy as a dehumidifier.
What's a dehumidifier do?
Saves a lot of Britain from damp, really, is the main thing. But in making it home in the desert, what it does is it sucks moisture out of the air and gives you water for your water tanks, so your water tanks don't get depleted quite as quickly. So you can start to see you get like a whole kind of water cycle if you've unlocked enough water-based panels.
Yes. And we're definitely... So, like, one thing we're thinking about... So Dave kind of said about how we've got the different... Just thinking about... We've got the different panels for different acts, right?
Yes.
So we kind of have themed them a little bit. So Act 1 was all about you kind of moving around the vehicle. So it was things like the bellows, things like the propellers, the like catapult, cannon. Act 2 is about automation, because what you soon start to find is as your vehicle gets bigger, you just cannot run around and do all the things that you normally do. So like a game like Factorio, you get to a point where you automate things, and that's why if you looked at what I just played, like I was just kind of like, once I set the whole thing going, I was just kind of almost standing there. There will always be, like, you think you always got coins to collect and other things, but we even automate that a little bit. So, and then Act 3 is going to be just like bonkers sci-fi stuff, like this rocket. And you can see, like, I'm going 200, 300. Like, and so this is like proper end game stuff here that you're getting to play with.
Yeah. And it completely ruins challenge mode. In fairness, like, it might be a panel that we actually take out of challenges because it depends. Yeah, I suppose it's one of those things where if the rocket appears, you always use the rocket, right? That's the problem. I think so. Either we have to decide that if the rocket's there, the challenge leg has to be such a huge length that the rocket doesn't completely dominate it.
Because like we were talking the other night about like how do we balance this game? And there is like it's really funny actually. We were on the stream and like I was like, how do we balance this, Dave? And you immediately said we don't. And about 10 people on Steam just left the chat. But it's more about like it's like the things we have to balance is that problem. Because we want people to experiment. Like, I'm deliberately not using this rocket because I want to show you something new. But, like, if I actually just wanted to get a high score, I'd have the rocket. And that means that isn't balanced. That's what balance is to me. But that... I think it's going to be a case of just spotting those really easy... Like, the rocket. We need to think about how to balance that rocket somehow. We've had some ideas on how to do that.
You've got one flaw in your bellows there that you're not going to want. I'm going to save you from that.
So this one, should we talk? Oh, you're going to talk about balance?
I was just going to say, just very quickly on balancing, just that I think our approach initially was like, we got to keep a tight rein on everything, and it's got to be we got to be really, really careful. But what we actually ended up coming down on was, for me, the kind of what I like to think of as the Enter the Gungeon effect. And maybe this is unfair for that game or whatever, but for me, that game has so many guns and they have such a varied effect. And some of them feel so powerful that I just can't believe they're fully balanced. But it doesn't matter. Like because there's so many of them, because you don't always get the same one, and you have such limited control over which guns you do find in the chests and stuff and in the shops. That it doesn't matter if it completely like blows one run wide open.
Yeah.
And I think the developers of Slay the Spire said the same about certain combinations of cards in that game. They're like, we're okay that some of these things are better than others because you don't get them all the time.
Yeah.
So I've ruined your chat on automation. Do you want to tell us what you've just done?
I'm using these auto trim things.
Yeah.
That activate all the cells above you at once.
Boom.
Boom. Done. Like, there we go. Oh shit. Sorry. Like I shouldn't. That was. Can we go back in time and bleep that out?
No.
Anyway. So yeah, and very Lucley is beating me. Yes. So let's retry because I want to beat him.
Okay.
So like presumably he used rocket.
I was going to say, that doesn't look like a speed that says rocket actually, because top speed was 70. So
I'm going to try one rocket, see what happens. It didn't seem very far, did it?
No, I think you get much higher than 70 on one rocket. Yeah. So this doesn't feel like winning.
Yeah, doesn't it? I feel like winning.
No. That feels like you've cheated. You cheated one of our
interestingly, I haven't looked at the demo leaderboards because the demo leaderboards are different to this leaderboard because of the way Steam works.
Okay.
That's the one I just did. No. Ooh. Okay. Fans. Right. Okay. This something I quite like doing. I've not got that much money, but yeah. So how are things going?
How are things going?
I don't
know. I think things are going good. Being part of the Steam Festival has been great. Like, it's given us a chance to kind of get the game in front of a few people who wouldn't have otherwise seen it. So that's really cool. And it's got us streaming on a day we wouldn't normally stream. So that's cool too. But yeah. I am keeping an eye on Discord, but so far no one's posed us a question.
That's okay.
Dave's also asked, well, it's not a question, but I'm going to take it as if it were a question. Those fans, Sean,
yeah,
do they have a range of effect? Because they blow wind these particular fans blow wind left to right, don't they?
Yeah.
So, what's the where have we landed on that? Have we landed on that yet? Is that fixed?
No. Right. Okay. We should do this through experiment.
Okay.
Okay. So these fans are powered by electricity.
They sure are.
You can see a little meter on here, which all our electric panels have on them to show you how powered they are. As that goes up, I'm gonna not do it all the way. They'll start moving. Okay. They're gonna move very slowly now. Depending on how much electricity that they've got, that changes the speed of the wind.
Okay.
And how far the wind goes is based on the speed. So the more electricity, the further the range. And that's it. So you can see that. Let's follow the wind.
Okay, that's there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Still there. Now it's stopping there. But now look at this next one. So now there was more.
Woofed. Yep. There it goes.
There we go. And then also, it affects how quickly this turns and how often. So if you look, I'm only using this at half the speed, so they can go a lot further than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like this is the weird thing about, not the weird thing, but this is kind of, there's something, these kind of automation games, like you get to the point where you're like, I'm looking at watching my thing go, and I found it quite satisfying, like, because it's the kind of thing I guess I like, just kind of watching my machine work. We kind of, this idea of like the Rube Goldberg machine is something that we've had in our mind for a while, is we want to add this kind of like chain reaction of stuff going off. But like, and if you check out our Twitter, we showed a new panel on there right today.
It
really takes that to the next level.
Yes, it really does.
I think we should probably stick a link to that in Discord, right?
Okay.
So I think not everyone follows us on Twitter there. So
so that new panel kind of it really points out what we're missing, which is essentially like marbles. Like we're missing a marble in our Rube Goldberg machine. So
yeah. So the one concern we talk about balancing is that like for some reason that the other leaderboard didn't show up. Yeah, the balance thing is what we need to think about there, because like if people, what I used to hate, I used to play like did I do this one? I think I did this one already. I haven't done the all panels one. Okay. Is the like you want to be able to like let players do that and not feel like they're punishing themselves by using that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think, like you said, like some people for making it home, a big part of this game will be like the platforming, and they'll love that, and it, they'll probably, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, they'll lean into that as how they build their vehicles, because that's what they enjoy. But other players, like perhaps like what you were talking about there, with players who would naturally lean towards games like Factorio or other games like that, they will want that automation. They will enjoy sitting back and seeing like the distance they travel without having to do a single jump. Right? Yeah. Why are you building rockets?
I just kind of want to, like, because I have a big budget and I just want to see like if I can either break it or like I want to see how fast can I actually get. That's the question.
So and I think like there's absolutely no way that is the way to play this game. Like if you want to do as much platforming as you can, do like some crazy wall jumps, like the game will reward you for that 100%. But if you're not into that at all and you just want to build a system that kind of maybe doesn't go as quick as other systems, but it kind of rocks along and with fairly minimal maintenance from you, the game definitely lets you do that, and it's fun. Like if you're having fun, we're having fun. So what are we trying? It's quite a long leg.
Yeah, it's quite long. So can we? So this is where rockets get a little bit more balanced, right? Because once they're gone, they're gone.
They do. They conk out.
Am I even going to make it all the way? I am definitely not going to make it all the way. Well, there we go. So there. Okay, back to the blueprint mode.
Yeah. Maybe rockets aren't the answer to everything.
Yeah, no, they're not the answer to everything. So I've got every panel. This is like every panel here. So I feel like steam engines. But it's such a long leg that the steam engines are going to run out of water.
Not unless if you create like a dehumidifier loop, right?
Yeah, let's try that. Have.
Okay. So yeah, like we don't mind showing the players every panel that's available, at least in beta. I think that's something that won't be in the final game.
Yeah, yes, or at least it will be like the last thing you unlock.
Yeah,
I think. So.
Dave Soft is suggesting fan and both blades as a fairly reasonable tactic, I think.
So again, fan and both
blades.
Oh, as in, okay, I see what you mean. So like,
but I got shouted at for using that to beat Ellen the other night on stream.
Did you?
Well, yeah. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is I'm going to have a mix of all sorts of panels. So
wonderful. Variety is the spice of making it home. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh. Did not expect a cannon there, but I see where you're doing, and I like it. So this is kind of something you were doing earlier, right? Like so you've used that earlier experience.
Yeah. And then I do actually want to have a few rockets.
Fair. Dave's pointed out a really interesting thing in chat about your current design that I'm not going to talk about until you go. It's not a bad thing. It's just interesting.
Okay.
One extra D. I thought you'd only built one, but you actually have 6.
Okay, now there's the question of, do I start these now? Let's start them now. Because even the order you start things up in, when you really start to think about, like, you know, like that all kind of matters.
For sure.
And then when do I feel like I'm going to wait until I've got to the terminal velocity and then fire my rockets. Okay. So I'm going to see how far, like I'm going to keep an eye on my speed, and then once I stop accelerating, I'm going to fire the rockets. Because also, as the water goes, the weight of your vehicle reduces, as you would expect. And again, the rockets, when they burn their fuel, that reduces the weight. Don, what was the thing you were going to point out?
You're increasing speed. You're just about to pass the 30 mark, so that's not too bad for such a sizable vehicle. So Dave was interested, and I think this is a totally fair question from someone who knows our systems quite well. Is he wondered if the bellows that you've created to the right there in that column will fight the fan that you created on the far left in terms of both sending air in opposite directions. I don't know if you saw it, Dave, but if you were looking out for it when Sean started the vehicle up, that's exactly what happened. But the fans are just such a persistent force of wind in the game as it stands, especially on 3 bars there at the moment. They quickly won out over the bellows.
Yeah. So now something I noticed is that I was running out. My dehumidifiers were not able to keep up with 3.
3 on boost, yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Got a long old leg.
Yeah, but it's quite like this. It feels very different having a leg this long. See, now I got up to 100 because
because rockets doing their thing, but
Yeah.
then you're dropping.
I am still getting, I think, can I add another engine? Yeah. I'm slowing down. I'm kind of glad this is tricky. You know, like
Yeah. Well, so it's something that we're kind of developing and working on all the time as well, isn't it? Kind of leg length as vehicles get bigger and more advanced. These challenge modes are really good examples of that. Like,
yeah,
you had some very sophisticated panels here in terms of like how far along in the game they will be when you actually unlock them.
yeah. This is like mostly Act 2 with like one Act 3 panel, which is the rocket.
So, yeah. So like imagine therefore in this kind of in the story mode, you'll be dealing with hazards. You'll be dealing with getting coins.
Yeah.
Objectives beyond just the speed at which you're going. You know, so yes, you don't necessarily have a huge amount of like busy work to be doing, some maintenance here yet, but
I'm wondering.
it's still enough going on, isn't it?
I'm gonna turn this off, get some water, and then put all of my engines on at once.
Okay.
Like, see if I can fill this back up
Mm-hmm.
with my dehumidifiers. I did notice that these aren't going as fast as they can be. Like when the wind came,
Mm-hmm.
I got more electricity. But again, like this may sound weird, me trying to understand something that's in a game I wrote. But a lot of these systems I've written the systems, but then it's how they interact with each other, which is quite.
That's it. Yeah.
I think maybe these dehumidifiers need to be a bit. Unsure about if these need to be more powerful or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think that's one to wait until they're in the we'll balance that based on the actual game. Like probably. Yeah, I'm slowing down. I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna do my bellows again, and then turn them all on. Okay.
Yeah, Jesse felt they felt weak at points, and I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Every panel kind of does have to justify itself to an extent, because it's more weight on your vehicle, right? But
yeah,
at least.
So there's a panel that we're implementing that's going to go with the dehumidifier, right?
Yes.
Like, are we okay? Are we trying to keep them as surprises, or should we?
Well, I don't think we need to talk about it much beyond the fact that yes, the water system, a bit like the air system.
Yeah.
It's got the propellers, it's got the turbines, it's got the bellows, it's got the fans. The water system, dehumidifiers, water tanks, steam engines, and there will be more that works off water for sure.
Yeah. Which might make the dehumidifier feel a bit more. There is that one slight concern. Like again, this we're launching the access in August, so we're quite open about stuff we need to figure out. Like at some point, this starts to feel a bit like a deck builder game because you need certain combos, or like we need to be careful about how if there are things where if I've got this panel, I need this other panel.
Yeah.
That could be an issue, I think.
We have kind of bonded panels, don't we? So you can never unlock a electric engine without having something that produces electricity.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the steam engine, right? Like that always comes with the water tanks.
Yes. But those are kind of like hard. They're like hard requirements. But the question is like these kind of soft requirements, where like you think, well, I would want to use. Like I said it when I started, I was like, I didn't get the cannon early on because I was like, I don't have anything that will go with the cannon. But then I had something later on that did go with the cannon. So like when you're playing Slay the Spire, that's a kind of deck building game.
Yeah.
You sometimes have cards where you're like, well, this is only going to be useful for me with in a combo with this other card.
Yeah.
So, do you take it? Do you kind of like push your luck and say, right, I'm going to take this card in the hope that eventually I unlock this other card? Like, how does that
I
work?
mean, I definitely do both. There are times where I'm just like, oh, okay, I really fancy playing that deck right now, so I will pick up one part of a 2 or 3 card combo in the hopes that it arrives further down the line. I think it's more punishing in a deck building game than it is in making it home, because like if you're on the second or third truck stop and you pick up a cannon, you still have the means that got you there, like to play with. Okay, you didn't get anything that's like gonna perhaps increase your speed, but I think this game's more forgiving on that front, whereas in Slay the Spire you would have to draw that card that potentially does nothing, for potentially a very long time in your run.
Yeah.
So I think and I've seen this in some players who are playing the game already on streams and stuff like that. People are willing to take speculative picks and be like, I'm gonna give I don't know what this cannon does, but we're gonna give it a try.
So what I'm trying to do now is like use up my water. So it's it feels very different to the other stuff I was doing, where now I'm like, this whole experience here feels very different to the rest of the game that I played this evening, this afternoon.
On the stream. Yeah, and that's cool. Like, I think that's the thing that the challenge modes really add to the game is another way of playing that is not going to be for everyone. Like, not everyone's going to enjoy such a long leg that with the same vehicle and kind of maintaining it and trying to maximize things. But that we know a lot of our players are going to love that kind of opportunity to really dig deep into one vehicle for this length of time.
Yeah. Because I'm immediately, so it's like in my head, I'm immediately thinking how I can make this better. Like what has gone wrong? Like,
I mean, this could be a
one
whole
more vehicle before we finish.
This could be a whole evening, couldn't it? In a sense, like of just trying vehicles out to this particular challenge.
So, is anyone else? Soperboy.
Ooh,
is that who I think it is?
So that would be one of our streamers who's tried the game as part of and I think they're in the Welsh Gaming Network. Superboy.
Yes.
It's not who I think you might have been thinking. It might have been Nautical Soap.
Yeah.
Who was another.
Too many soap-related streamers to keep track of.
Yeah, and of course we streamed Quantum Soup's game the other week, which is, I don't think, anything to do with Superboy, but I might be wrong.
No, I don't think it's anything to do with. Yeah, I've got an idea. Dave. I want to try it. One more thing, and then
one more thing. Yeah.
One more thing. So what's everyone up to this weekend? Anything?
I mean, I know you don't mean me when you say everyone.
Well, I do. I mean anybody. What's anyone up to?
What's anyone up to this weekend? Well, I'll kick things off. I'm actually going to be doing some more artwork for Making It Home. That's my big weekend plans. You're going to space out your rockets. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, there's some character art, some objective art, and things like that I want to get to grips with. How about you, dude? What are you going to be up to?
I've got a shelf I need to put up above my espresso machine that we bought ages ago and never got round to. It wasn't that long ago, I guess. Who knows? I don't know what time is anymore. I've got a raised bed that currently is sat on our patio with a screw kind of halfway down it because we realised we didn't have the right equipment before we finished doing it.
Nice.
The screw was halfway down and we realised we didn't have the right stuff. Yeah, and then I don't know. I'm going to do some more. You've done some panel art. I want to get some more new panels implemented because I did. So I've got kind of Act 2 stuff implemented now. Did you have a chance to look at it? I mean, don't worry. It's full on to test it, but
I did. I didn't get a chance to test it to the point where we want, where it'd be useful to chat about in terms of progression from Act 1 and 2. But I did play a bit of Act 2 today. I was doing a bit of our promo tweets and things like that using it. So, and I'm really, really, really liking what's coming out of that background stuff. So that's just wonderful. Going to be sharing some of that tomorrow through our Twitter feed. But Dave Self says he's going to be doing some coding himself.
Nice.
And also maybe some painting of some Warhammer figures.
Cool.
What kind of stuff are you going to be painting, Dave? In fact, I should probably have typed that.
I keep seeing Dave playing Dwarf Fortress, and
yes,
I really want to, when it comes out on Steam, we're going to stream that. I'm going to I love I just love the. I've tried playing it a few times before, but it is a real undertaking.
Yeah, I mean that's a game that for me I would really struggle with that. I think I would be interested in watching you stream it.
Yeah,
but I think that's going to push my I'm going to struggle. I would struggle with that game. I think. So I am super intrigued by these 2 balloons that you've got.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. I like them. I like them being there.
Got to use that budget.
Yeah, you do. Is 2 balloons really cheaper than 1 rocket?
I don't know. Maybe. Right, I'm gonna. And this last one, I'm not gonna fire it yet. Because look at how my speed goes down to nothing.
This is definitely still quicker than the previous vehicle.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make it to the end, am I?
And probably not by look at this.
When I get to 30, I'm going to fire it.
You can't even. This is the sad thing. You can't even build a sail, right? Which is something you should maybe have left yourself a budget for, just to really crawl
all the way
towards that last.
Am I gonna?
I don't know if you're gonna make it. In fact, I'm confident you're not gonna make it.
No.
Well, it was a good experiment, and I'm really pleased to see that rockets really aren't always the answer.
I think it's about the length. The way of balancing it is it's the length of the leg, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's really potentially not a great solution, though, is it? Because unlike in challenges, players may not unlock the rocket. I mean, there might be thrust panels just as good in Act 3. But
come on,
we can't just make every Act 3 leg massive. That wouldn't work.
Possibly not. But well, I'm not going to make it.
You're not going to make it home.
I'm not going to make it.
One final question from Dave. Will the vehicle ever have to jump via a ramp?
Will it?
One day, maybe, Dave. One day, maybe.
Still wrestling with the idea of can I make it go up a hill?
Yeah, that would be the first step.
That's step one. Step one. Up a hill.
Yeah. Hill starts, which are every driver's nightmare.
We're kind of thinking of ways of making. It sounds silly, but we want to add the concept of the vehicle going backwards.
Yeah.
It opens up more than you might think. But yeah, right. I think
that looks like a good place
to start.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone for coming by, and if you're watching this on the repeat, thanks for watching it to the end. It would be really helpful for us if you wishlisted Making It Home on Steam, and if you know anyone who would like this kind of game, if you could point this in their direction, that would really, really help us more than anything. But yeah.
Thanks,
So,
Sean.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks for showing us and making it home.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I can stop.